Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Family Reading Nights. We are going to continue on to chapter 6, and then we're going to take a break, and then we will continue on to another chapter. Okay, here we go. Chapter 6. Badger did not wait long for the surprise. First came a sound. It was an awful sound. Badger thought a tiny elephant had gotten stuck in one of his ears. It trumpeted. Badger jumped and pounded the right side of his head. He pounded the left. Then Badger realized the trumpeting wasn't in his ears. Groaning, he followed the sound out of the kitchen and down the front hallway and jerked open the front door. Skunk stood on the stoop's landing with his back to Badger. He blew into an orange stick. Skunk turned around and removed the stick from his mouth. "Well, hello, Badger." The sound exited Badger's ears like corks forced from bottles. Pop, pop, pop. Badger crumpled onto the stone parapet and panted, rubbing his ears. Skunk pocketed the stick and skidded to the edge of the stoop. He held a paw over his eyes, surveying the neighborhood. Any minute now, any minute, any minute, any minute. Badger followed Skunk's gaze, expecting to see red-faced neighbors also massaging their ears, but no neighbors appeared. In fact, the neighborhood looked as it always looked. Meadow across the street, sidewalk to the mailbox, brownstones lined up like dominoes ascending Quigley Hill. Skunk leapt and pointed to the south. "Ahoy, Orloff!" Badger saw an odd, upright bird with feathered breeches. Skunk leaned toward Badger and whispered, "Named after the Russian Count Alexei Orloff. But she is not Russian. She is Iranian." Badger stood to get a better look. With every step, the Orloff took feathers, shook, muffs, cowls, beard, and shaggy eyebrows. The Orloff slowly turned. Badger felt appraised. Left, right, left, right. Then the Orloff fluffed her feathers, stuck her beak in the air, and made a sharp cry. "Roar!" "What kind of bird is that?" Badger asked. "It's chicken." "Chickens are the only ones who hear the chicken whistle," Skunk replied. Badger thought of the orange stick and blinked. "You don't hear anything when you blow it? Not even a little?" "Of course not. I'm not a chicken." "A badger is not a chicken," Badger thought. Badger would have said something, but Skunk hopped and pointed. "Look, over there, over there." "Oh," Badger's jaw went slack. The landscape had gone chicken. Under, over, behind, chickens. Across the street, in the park, near the mailbox, chickens. The wattles, the combs, the bright red faces. Oblongs, round, tiny, shrub-sized. Jersey giants, said Skunk. There were chickens strolling on stork legs. 3 Koshamos on the right, said Skunk. Chickens wearing bell-bottoms, plumed berets, and flippers, all made of feathers. The chickens came in colors. A purple chicken? Some were mottled, some were speckled, and some sparkled. Everywhere Badger looked, the earth moved with chicken beats, in herks and jerks, in his eye, then that eye, then step, 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 purr, purr, peck. On the brownstone stoop, Badger swayed on his feet. "Are these all chickens?" "Hen chickens," said Skunk, misunderstanding him. "Hens get things done. Hens work together. I do not like to speak ill of a chicken, but Badger, too many roosters are trouble. A rooster wants all the attention. A rooster fights and claws and pecks. Some roosters do not know when to stop cock-a-doodle-dooing. Even the hens think it is best to keep roosters to a minimum. I did tell Larry, though. Larry is different." Badger pointed at a group of 4 fleshy sun-baked birds and crossed his arms. "Those are turkeys." "Chickens, Transylvania, naked-neck chickens, Badger." Then Badger noticed that the chickens, all of them, were coming closer and closer and closer. Badger stumbled backwards and clutched at the stone of the house. "Triassic, Jurassic sandstone," he mumbled out of habit, his thoughts firmly on the approaching chicken tidal wave. Skunk rushed into the sea of feathers. "Hello, hello," he yelled. "So nice to meet you." Badger watched Skunk greet chicken after chicken, and then the Orloff stepped up and apparently told some sort of joke. "Orangefoot who?" Badger heard Skunk say. Now this, I'm going to show you a picture, and they drew an illustration of all the chickens that are coming to the house here. Let me show you. Okay, so here you go. Here's Mr. Badger, and then all the chickens that are around, or I'm sorry, the hen chickens are all around the area. "Buckety, buckety, buck," said the Orloff. "Ha, did you hear that, Badger?" Badger had heard Bok, bok. Not that funny, Badger shrugged. The chickens gathered around Skunk, turned their gaze on Badger, one eye, then the other. Bok, said a tiny orange ball of feathers. Bok, bok, said a speckled brown job. Bark, 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 said the Orloff. Skunk looked briefly at Badger and then turned to the chickens. You are right. I did not think Badger understands your dialect. What dialect? Badger huffed. Skunk gave Badger a concerned look. The chickens conferred. The speckled brown job said, Bark, but bark, bark, bark. Skunk waved his paws. No, he is smart enough. Badger knows a lot about rocks. Badger gasped. Smart enough? For chickens? Shh, said Skunk. You will speak clearly in no time at all, I promise. The chickens will like you, and you will like the chickens. Chickens are good to know. Then, to Badger's horror, Skunk pushed past him and opened the brownstone door. Story time, he yelled. Wait, said Badger, but it was too late. The chickens rushed for the door with the force of pressure hose. And it happened so quickly. Badger and Skunk stood in the doorway of Badger's rock room and gawked. In one flick of a chicken head, the rock room had been overthrown in a chicken coop. This wasn't Badger's rock room. This was a Wild West of chicken. The saloon at Dead Bug End, the last stand at Corncob Corral. The chickens chattered and then burst forth in a squawk and a clap of wings. The ones that flew took the air. Some of these chickens perched on the chandelier, which now swung like a swing set. Badger's mouth opened and closed. Skunk glanced at him. I do not usually get this many chickens, he explained. The most until now is 16. This was once and only once. Skunk looked at Badger and kept talking. I did not know that the chickens liked rock rooms, he added. Usually they go in the kitchen first. Skunk peeked at Badger and hastily looked at him. Yes, chickens continually surprise. Surprise, mumbled Badger. Skunk kept talking, but after you have blown the chicken whistle, it would not be rude to invite them in for a story. Badger thrust a paw toward the chicken outbreak in his rock. Rude? Well, what about this? Skunk nodded. It is good that rocks are hard. Then Skunk froze. Oh dear, he said softly. Badger turned. What? Skunk gave Badger a smile. You do not have any gravel, do you? Why? Chickens eat gravel. It's a digestive aid, or so chickens say. Gravel is rock. Chickens eat rocks? Badger took in the bookshelves filled with boxes of rocks, the rock table, the fireplace mantel, all covered in chickens. Skunk took one look at Badger and said, I will make the popcorn. Ah! Roared Badger as he careened into the chickens. Skunk popped popcorn. Badger shut, boxed up, and locked. He growled continually. Badger ended up spread over his rock table, clamped to his rock stool, batting at the Jersey Giant, who seemed determined to perch on the gooseneck of Badger's rock light. When the Jersey Giant finally gave up, Badger let his head plop on the table. Badger stayed like this until Skunk clunked a bowl of popcorn in front of him. For sustenance, you have wilted, said Skunk. Badger lifted his head in time to see Skunk, bearing bowls of popcorn, disappeared in a whirlwind of chickens. Badger took a pawful of popcorn, chewed, and sat. He grabbed another pawful, and then another. And then another. That's when he saw her. The tiny orange ball of feathers stood next to his pencil mug. Badger began to spit polish his rock light, watching her out of the corner of his eye. A yellow foot appeared from the poof of feathers and extended out slowly. Quick as a wink, she stepped the foot down, lowered the other yellow foot beside it, and poofed out her feathers. He put his head next to her tiny poof body. I'm smart, he growled. The ball of feathers pecked hard. Ow, said Badger, patting his snout. Bark, 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 said the poof of feathers. She slowly extended her head out of the orange feathers and stared. Left, right, blink, blink. And then did a two-step toward Badger's popcorn. Bark, ha, Badger laughed. He reached into the bowl and put a piece of popcorn in front of her. Then he sat and watched. The tiny orange hen barely gave him a glance, and she stepped up and ate the popcorn. Bark. Badger set another piece of popcorn in front of her. I do rock science. Bark, bark, said the tiny orange hen pecking at the popcorn. Badger got a big pawful and set it in front of her. Rock science takes persistence, determination, and character. Also, you have to be very, very smart. Bark, bark, bark. The tiny orange hen tossed a piece of popcorn back and gulped. Badger ate several more pawfuls of popcorn, and when Badger saw this tiny orange hen had finished eating hers, he reached for a pawful. Bark! Badger stopped mid-reach. Bark! Said the hen again. Badger saw two tiny ears peer up at him. Right eye, left eye, right eye. Then the tiny orange hen stopped into the crook of one of Badger's arms. So light, thought Badger. The tiny orange hen sighed, tucked her beak under her wing, and went to sleep. Oh, said Badger. A grizzled rooster rose stiffly from the geodes of the fireplace. The bird looked partially plucked. Larry, thought Badger. Oh, thank you, Larry, came Skunk's voice. Badger turned and saw Skunk sitting on the floor, holding a book and an embroidered cover. Bark, 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 the chickens murmured. The tiny orange hen stirred and adjusted herself in Badger's arms. Skunk opened the book. Chicken Little the Mighty, he read. He paused, then looked directly at Badger. To catch you up, something fell from above onto Chicken Little. It was only something like a leaf, but it frightened Chicken Little, and she jumped to the biggest possible conclusion. The sky is falling. The sky is falling, she told everyone. A lot of other birds believed her. Those birds followed Chicken Little straight into the den of Foxy Loxy. Luckily, Chicken Little and her friends escaped unharmed, but Chicken Little's reputation was ruined. Skunk turned to the book, and he began to read, his voice filling the room as Badger listened the story to unfold in front of him. And it went like this. And we're going to stop right now, and we're going to take a break, and we'll do the next part, and we're going to see what the story about Chicken Little was about. Thank you. We'll see you in a bit.